Welcome everyone. We are so happy to greet you here in Tallinn and in Egypt, in Cairo. My name is Meelika Hirmo and I am helping today to facilitate this Q&A session about audiovisual content creation and social media. And with me, we also have here two other people who are very important. Ahmad, who is live with us from Egypt. Are you with us, Ahmad?
Yes, yes. Can you hear me well?
Yes, we do.
Hi, Meelika.
As we have already promoted, Ahmad is a social media content creation influencer. He's also a multimedia content creator, so he's doing a lot of wonderful projects. And recently, he's also been awarded, if I may say this way, as an EU Goodwill Ambassador. And Ahmad and I have also worked together and connected with different youth projects. So I'm really, really welcome to send greetings to Cairo, Ahmad.
Thank you, Meelika. Thank you for having me.
And yes, and I would also like to introduce Siri, who we haven't advertised yet. Siri, please say hello.
Hello.
Siri is our graphic recorder or illustrator, and she's actually illustrating your questions and Ahmad's answers today. So it's going to be different types of visuals today, and I hope you really enjoy. So I would like to encourage you to be very active with asking questions. And in order for you to ask the questions, please use the Q&A box. Down below, you see there is the participants, Q&A, chat. So keep chat just for the interaction and use Q&A for the questions. And those who are following us on Facebook or YouTube, please write your questions on the chat under the live streaming video. But we introduced ourselves very briefly. We would like to know who you are. So we have two questions for you guys. Please let us know where are you from, where are you based in, and what's your experience with social media content creation or video making. So people on Facebook, just write this on the comments, and people attending on Zoom, you can answer the poll. We are very, very curious to know where are you from and what are your social media experiences. Right, so while you're writing this, I would just like to say a few words about why are we here today. So I'm Meelika, as I said, and I work at SALTO Participation and Information Resource Center. And at SALTO PI, a short version for the name, we work with topics like media and information literacy, youth participation, and also promotion and outreach. So because we understand how important it is to make yourself visible when you're doing great activities, when you have your NGO or when you have your personal project, it is essential to make it visible and give it a proper impact. And this is why we are here. So we are using Ahmad's knowledge and experience to find out what has he learned when he started doing his content creation journey, and what are maybe the mess ups, what are the recommendations, what are the tips and tricks. So let's get started. Meanwhile on Zoom, our technical support can already share the results. So I will just quickly take a look. Oh, we have a lot of people from European Union or European larger area. Asia is represented, South America, even Middle East. That's really, really cool. So hello to those as well who are watching us from so far away. We are really happy to have you. Thank you. Right, so Ahmad, the first question that I would like to ask from you is, why did you decide to become a multimedia creator and a social media influencer? After all, you had a proper career in architecture, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, yes. I studied architecture, and after I spent like 8 years studying architecture, I enjoyed the university. That's why I wanted to stay longer so I can educate myself during the year off for the vacations. But anyway, I started working as an architect for like a year, and then I decided it's not for me. I didn't enjoy working as an architect, but I enjoyed studying it. But then, because of architecture as well, I've always had that love for photography and video. And during architecture, we learned a lot about using like Photoshop and creating designs and so on. So I thought of like creating a company and include the services that I can create, like either like videos, photography, graphic design, website design. And then this is how it started. But then later on, my friend introduced me the idea of posting my travel videos online, because I've been also documenting my life since I was 12 or 13 years old, like taking videos and pictures and all of that time, but it was always kept on my hard drive and no one could see them. So he introduced the idea to me to upload them online, and this is how it started. Like I never had the thought of being an influencer or a content creator. I just started posting the videos and my travels and the people I meet and my experiences around the world, and it worked, and the channel grew.
Thanks, but like you said, you started like you were a teenager. You just did it for fun in the beginning,
Yes.
but you didn't. Did you have any training to go on a higher level, or I mean, basically, eventually you started from the scratch when you think of this level of content creation. So, when you now look back to your main learning points, or what would be the 3 main tips that you would recommend for someone who is very much in the beginning of the journey? And we have one person who has written here, Simone. I have got a 7 days old Instagram account, so congratulations, Simone. So what would you recommend to Simone?
I mean, in the beginning, if someone wants to create, and how I learned in general, it was all on YouTube. That was my main, until today, my main source of learning, education. Like at university, I took one photography class and I actually failed it. I got an F, like it's the lowest grade. But then I repeated it again later on and I got an A. But I mean, university, I didn't learn a lot from, I didn't take a course, I didn't attend a workshop or something. It was all on YouTube. Everything is on YouTube. Learn how to use the cameras, what cameras I should choose. Even not just videos, also graphic design, how to design, Photoshop, Illustrators, all that is on YouTube for free. So as a beginning, as a start, for anyone who wants to start, YouTube is the go-to place.
Mm-hmm. And I see that people are ignoring my request regarding asking questions in the Q&A box. Please, guys, those who are watching us on Zoom, please ask your questions in the Q&A box. But I will anyway take a little question from Learn Film Studio. What is your main target group when you think about your own channels? Someone is interested in that.
My main target group, anyone who would be interested in travel, first of all. This is my main this is my main content that I produce. Also, people who want to be happy. This is how I see it, because I try to show and talk about things that to make people, like open their mind and get more open-minded and see the opportunities around the world and to do the things that they love. So I always push at this thing by using the videos that I create about traveling, because I show my passion in traveling and I try to teach people who follow me how they should find their passion as well. So my target group are people who want to change, want to be happy, want to enjoy life. Yeah, and mostly they are from I think 70% of the audience are from 18 years old till 25. That's the majority.
So young adults, all
Yes.
right. I have another recommendation to ask from you. Which is more important when you want to create attractive audiovisual content for social media? Is it the content? Is it the format so that it looks nice and the camera moves well, whatever? Or is it more about the promotion so that it actually gets out there? So 3 of those, either the content, the format, or promotion, which is more important?
Of course, the content, because the content is the backbone of the whole thing. People worry too much about how things look on when they post. You know, they want to make it look as perfect as possible, and this like wastes a lot of time, because you waste a lot of time in the preparation without even starting. So I would say content, definitely, like you should post content even if you think it's not the best, but this is how you learn. Like when I started making videos online, I posted like the worst videos I've posted, but I don't care, because it shows that when you watch the videos from the beginning to now, you could see the progress. And this is what I always tell to people, like, show the progress. People would appreciate it and they would see how you, at the beginning, you were starting like really low budget and you barely know what to do. And then later on, you became very good. So people would appreciate that. So yeah, people should focus on the content and just start. Without less planning, just start. Yeah.
And I'm really happy about our participants who are asking questions now in the Q&A box. Thank you, guys. It's so much easier for us to follow.
I'd love if they ask the question, if they can post at the end of the question, like their country where they're from. So
yeah, it would be cool if you post the question and then after your question, post your country. Pavel is asking a really good question. I'm curious, how far in advance do you need to plan content creation? Should we know days, weeks, months in advance what we will create and post? So what's your experience? How much is planning and how much is intuitive?
Of course, it depends. If the content you produce is related to the news and it's all like new, then I don't think you can plan more than 1 week, because things come up every day. But if I would do it, like if I'm making travel videos, I can easily plan for 2-3 weeks. But I don't do this. I usually maximum plan for a week. It also depends how much time you have and resources you have that would help you. If you have other social media specialists that could help you, so you can easily plan in advance. But for me, I plan once a week. I mean, during a week.
But that's also one of the main things that you do, I guess, when it's an extra task on top of your main tasks or work, then maybe it is 2 weeks in advance is even better, or a month. But obviously, people are very active now with questions. So I'm gonna just shoot. There is a question about strategy. Like, how can you create the right strategy for you? Like, how did you approach it when you started thinking more strategically on your content and publishing the content and your visibility? What would be your recommendations? Like, what to ask yourself, how to approach this?
In order to create the content, first of all, you need to, as we mentioned in the videos that we created, you need to know your audience and create personas and understand what they want and their personality, who they are and what they want and what they would enjoy, and then start planning the content accordingly and see and test. It's all about testing as well. You test this subject and see if it goes viral, if people are interested in, then you would know that this is the section or the part where you want to emphasize on and create more content that relates to this. And then later on, you can start introducing a new idea and see how people would react. That's what I do. I test and I learn from the audience. They tell me what to post. You know, they make it a lot easier when I post. But the thing is, we should post. We should create content, and worry less about people's thoughts on the content and just post the content, and the people who are interested will always follow. I hope it's clear.
In the videos that you filmed for us, you actually recommended to, if possible, work on different channels at the same time, parallelly. So there is a question from Miriam, and she's asking, what can you tell us about cross-media posting? Which social media platforms can easily be combined, or is this a no-go? Good question, Miriam.
Which platform they should start with first? That was the question.
How to approach the cross-media approach? Like, should you be everywhere at the same time? How should you approach it? The same content or different approaches?
Of course, it depends on the type of. Actually, no, it doesn't depend. Like, I would say you should show up everywhere. This is what I always say as well. You should be on all platforms as much as you can. It's a lot difficult when if it's just only me doing the work. It's very difficult to be on more than 3-4 platforms at a time. But the more you are on different platforms, the more you will reach different audience. You know, as we mentioned in the videos, each platform has its own culture and it has its own followers as well. Like for me, I don't use, even though I have a Facebook page and it's active, but I don't use Facebook personally at all. I'm mainly active on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, for example. So that's why you should diversify the content and post in different platforms. Like Instagram would be like pictures, YouTube long videos, Facebook shorter videos, maybe TikTok like 10, 15-second videos. So, and in terms of content, the way I do it is, so I create a piece of content, main piece of content, like maybe like if I'm traveling, for example, like a food video, for example, trying street food. It's a 15 minutes video. I'll post it on YouTube, for example. But then I'll create short snippets of this video and then post them on Instagram in a series of videos, like 5 videos, because people on Instagram and TikTok, they don't want to watch longer videos, so shorter ones. So the thing is, like, create a piece of content, post it, and then diversify and optimize that piece of content to fit different platforms.
Mm-hmm.
So picture here, video there, an article maybe on your website, but it's all about the same content.
Mm-hmm. Just a bit of different angle, and so the format is really important. So you cannot do exactly the same thing on YouTube and Instagram. It doesn't even fit to the format. So one should do a little bit of research about what works for different
channels. But it can all be the same piece of content, like talking about food in Italy, for example. But it will be in the form of article, a video, or a picture, or text.
Great. And there is a question from Alexia, and that name is familiar to me. She's from Greece, based in Holland. Is video the only way to attract the attention of young people? So how important do you think video is?
I think video is very, very important. And even social media platforms favor videos more than pictures and text. So they will always push on videos and show them on the people's timeline. So it's very important. Also, video is a lot more interactive than picture or text. But still, pictures and text are very important as well because we're different. There are people who are visual learners. Like I would like to learn through videos. Others would like to learn through articles. That's the same way of thinking when you think of different platforms like YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. It's also in the formats and how people would want to expect to learn. So also, you should create videos and articles for the people who want to read.
That's really interesting. I think many people are having some ideas here. There is a very practical question which I like to read out. Pedro is asking, we are interested on promoting Arab content in Spanish. I would like to know what Ahmad thinks. Should they proceed? How should they proceed? Keep translating, doing their own videos, having like interviews, using YouTubers, subtitles. What do you feel works when someone who is a Spanish-speaking community tries to approach Arab-speaking community and young people?
Spanish-speaking, they have to speak their language. They have to get someone. I mean, adding subtitles is one thing, like it could work, but if you get someone who speaks Arabic, it would work a lot more. Because people, when they watch the video, for example, they expect to watch and listen. They don't expect to keep reading subtitles. So if you add subtitles, well, still people would watch, but I would recommend getting someone. You can get me. I can go to Spain and speak to up in Arabic. So like it's the same thing. You should get someone to represent the videos and the content who speaks Arabic, and will be familiar to the people who will be watching.
Thanks. Manka is asking about social media algorithms. How important are they, and how do you use? If you can, I think it's quite complex, but maybe you can generalize, like where to start. How do you consider the social media algorithms?
Social media algorithm depend, in my opinion, solely on consistency. So you must be consistent, even if you're posting, even if you plan to post one post a week. If you want to do it right, then promise your audience that you're going to post maybe on Friday at 1 p.m. each Friday. So by staying consistent, the algorithm would push you. The people would expect and they would wait for the content. It's this thing when people start waiting for the content. It's when the engagement on the post start to increase very fast. So stay consistent in the type of content also that you produce, and in the timing of the content where you post them, and it will grow fast.
Cool. And you already mentioned about video preferred or visual to be preferred, and there is actually quite a lot of blogs about it where you can find more information. But there is a upvoted question. Do you think that using different hashtags on posts makes a difference? What do you think about hashtags and their
Yeah, hashtags are important because it helps the platform to understand the type of post that you just posted. So if I can post a picture on Instagram, for example, and then when I tag hashtag food, if I'm eating a burger, for example, then Instagram would understand that this is a food content and will start to promote it to the people, or to start to push it in the explore page, for example, on Instagram, to the people who are interested in food. So you don't have to like type in like 30 hashtags or something. Like I would say 4 to 6 hashtags will be enough for the platform to understand. And this is on Instagram, but on YouTube, I maybe add more hashtags, and I start to. This is something that I do. If I find a successful video on YouTube that is related to what I'm doing, maybe in a different language or even the same language, I try to get the titles of the videos of the successful videos and add them in my hashtag and add in the hashtag list. It helps when people watch the successful videos. It helps. So YouTube recommends my video after that video because YouTube thinks that they are related, and they think YouTube thinks that people would want to keep watching because YouTube wants people to stay on the platform. So they probably recommend it. So it's something that you should consider.
And it's also the famous algorithm of social media, that when you watch something, it starts to assume that you want to watch more something like this. Exactly. And it even asks this, like, oh, you were watching this, you might like this. And they assume based on what your behavior has been. There is
tips and tricks about the posting on YouTube on the videos. So you guys should watch the videos.
Yes, we will come back to those videos as well. Tatiana is asking, actually with a little of comment, I will read it out, but please keep your questions short. It's easier to answer. We are a British intercultural youth exchange organization. And basically their challenge is that they have current participants of their activities, the previous participants who are, so to say, alumni, they have volunteers, and they are sending organizations. So they send people, young people out to do voluntary projects. Their challenge, as I see some other people are also asking, how to keep, these communities close to you, and how to approach, because what Tatiana is saying is that they are very diverse, different people, different experience. What's the approach? Different posts for different audiences, or create content for everyone? Is there such a thing as creating content?
You can't create content for everyone. If you're in an organization, you already have a message. You should spend time on creating content that is based on your message and start posting that. And don't think a lot about the people who might not be interested, because you need to focus. And And when you're focused and when you're targeted, you have a target and a message, clear message that relates to the organization. If people leave, other people will also join, and more people will join who follow the message and who want to understand more about it. So we should think or worry less about the people who are leaving. And you can never create content for everyone. It's impossible unless you have different brands. So I would say stick to the message and create more posts, and you will find more people joining who believe in you, believe in the organization.
Yeah, and a very good recommendation that you gave very much in the beginning is that ask your audience what they want and maybe work together with them. If you have people going abroad and having experiences with you or your organization, engage them as your ambassadors.
Exactly.
I think I would approach it this way.
And this is exactly what we mentioned in the videos when we talk about personas, like creating personas and understanding the personality of your audience to be able to create content for them. So it's very important. Yeah.
And Isabella is asking an extension or a more wide question on the same topic. How can one build a reliable online community? So when building online communities, what would be maybe 3 main recommendations that you would give?
Building online community, it's all about posting, staying consistent, and the timing when you post, and the type of content that you post. The prayers are on, I'm sure you can.
It gives this really good feeling like we're all traveling to Cairo for a second. So authentic, it's called authenticity. Let's see what we have on Facebook as well, real quick. Oh, there is a bit of a love message from Mustafa. You can say to Mohsen that I love him, and lots of hearts. Yeah, it's great. We love you too, Mustafa. Thanks for being with us. I would like to ask Siri to share her screen now, and let's see what she has visualized based on these questions and answers that we had. So Siri, please share your screen. Oh, so you will also have this illustration for all the participants, and when we will make it public. So you don't have to make too many notes. Siri is already doing it for you, and it's a really fun picture, Siri. Yeah, you must be consistent in posting. That's one of the main messages. And hashtags 4 to 6. Videos are important. All right, thanks, Siri. Thanks for sharing. Let's take some more questions now. Siri, you can stop sharing your screen now. Let's see. Oh, we have a lot of questions. I think we need to somehow speed up the process. Question from David. How can we attract more followers? I have a page and I post regularly. I try to also pay attention to the posting different hashtags and having balanced design. However, the pages bring only 10 new followers monthly. So currently the page has 300 followers. I'm not sure what channel. I assume it's Instagram. It sounds like Instagram. What would you recommend?
First of all, this is number one, as we mentioned before, you should keep posting. On Instagram, you can post every day. You guys need to show up every day. There are millions of posts that are posted daily, right? So in order to stay on top, in order to maximize your exposure, then you need to show up every day. So as much as you can. So posting daily would definitely help. Of course, hashtag definitely help. You should, if you want to grow faster, then you could consider advertisements on paying ads, like paying to promote your post. But if you don't have a budget, there's a smart thing that you can do, is to collaborate. And this is one thing that a lot of the bloggers and content creators do. They collaborate with different, and also organizations as well, not just individuals. Organizations, they collaborate with different organizations and different projects that are related somehow together. So like for me, if I can travel with someone and they'll be in my video and I'll be in their video, so people from his audience will know about me and my audience will know about him. So it will grow, and with projects you can collaborate, you can create a joint project and work on it together. So you would mix the audience, and it's a smart and and free way to expand and grow your audience quick.
Thank you. And I think in social media, you can already make quite a lot of work with only investing, maybe even if you invest 10 euros per month, you can already get quite a considerable raise in followership. Another question from Dani. She hosts a podcast which they promote on Facebook, Insta, and Twitter. They also have a YouTube channel where they highlight topics that came up on the podcast, linked to the blog or to website. So they have a lot of channels. And the hardest part seems to be getting interaction with our audiences on social media. Besides handing out free awards, do you have any tips how to interact? And Danny is from the Netherlands, currently in Israel.
They create the podcasts are on their website.
Yeah, I assume that the podcast is on their website, but I assume that also on the podcast channels.
Podcast channels on the website.
So specifically said, but they are promoting it in various channels, and seems like the channel, the content is not getting so much reaction on those.
Because they're not optimizing the content. I'm assuming it because they're not optimizing the content according to the platform. So you see, it's a podcast, it's an audio file. If you post it on Facebook, for example, they're posting a link for people to go and listen to it on the other platforms, which is a big mistake. Again, you should treat every platform as it has their own audience. Don't expect people to move from one platform to another to consume your content. Of course, a percentage would do, but the majority won't do because they're comfortable where they are. So that's why you should create the content that would fit. So this audio file, I mean, if I were you and I'm filming or I'm recording podcasts, I would also insert a camera that would film the whole podcast, and then I can later on post it on Facebook or the long one on YouTube, and then short clips on Facebook and Instagram. This is how people would engage. But a lot of people just add the link. They create a video on YouTube, then they add a link on Facebook and expect people to go. First of all, people are lazy to go to different platforms. Second of all, Facebook wouldn't help you help the post to be reached because Facebook doesn't want people to leave their platform as well. So if you put a different link of a different platform, a competitor, YouTube, so they won't push it. They will get very low engagement on the post. So you should upload it again on Facebook and Instagram and so on.
Mm-hmm. So there is Rea, and she asks a very interesting question. I think many people who are in the education field or who are youth leaders have this challenge. I struggle with being the protagonists of my videos, but social media needs this personal aspect, she says. Is there a way to create exciting content without having to be the star personally? Is there a way to do it?
You can get someone else who, if to present the whole thing. You can get someone to present who. There are people that their job or they're very comfortable in front of camera and they can present the organization. So this is one thing you can consider. Or you can work on yourself and be yourself. You know, like so in videos, a lot of people try to because they want to show that they're very active. So people feel that it's fake. So you just be yourself. If there's a joke, you can say it. If not, then just be yourself and speak normally, and people would enjoy it. You don't have to be so active and so on and fast.
So the question of authenticity as well, because you need to find this practice and staying authentic and probably just repeating and repeating. I assume that when you started, you also had some mess ups. So maybe just as a fun story, can you share something where you thought that, oh, I think I'm good enough, I'm going to do something, and you messed up and you learn from it? Can you tell us the story of your mess up?
Yes, of course. It's one thing that I still do it now. Is that you see, like I always tell you to post regularly and consistently. I don't do it as much, but it's my decision, and I know the drawbacks from it. But the thing is that there's a friend of mine. We just started at the same time, and we started posting videos very related to each other. but he kept posting for 4 years on a specific day and a specific time each week, on Fridays every week. And people got used to it, and people were waiting for the videos each week. And after 4 years, I didn't do that. I kept posting randomly whenever I feel like it. And 4 years later, he's 4 times the number of followers that I have, at least, and a lot, millions of more engagement than I do, which makes sense because he's very consistent. The algorithm is on his side. It's helping him grow because he's posting regularly and consistently in the type of content and the timing of the content as well. So it worked out well for him. And I thought by creating very good videos, I would beat him. He's one of my best friends. But no, it doesn't work on social media. You have to be consistent. Consistency is the key. Yeah.
Okay. Let's take a question from Facebook. Dan from the UK is asking, also commenting, I'm working a lot with youth workers about how to run online events and projects for young people. I'm starting to wonder if being an educator has a different set of skills to being a presenter. Should I get the educators to write the content and then hire a skilled presenter to deliver it? So the question is, sometimes educators are maybe not so wonderful presenters.
And not all of them.
What would be the approach?
Yeah, not all of them want to be in camera. I would definitely support his idea and say that you can get someone whose job is to present, and you could just focus on the content and preparing the content because you're an expert in the content side. But then you can get someone who could present the videos, and yeah, I would definitely do that. Totally recommend it.
But then what about the authenticity? You just hire someone who has no connection.
Because you hire someone who's part of the team already. Of course, this person would get the trainings and would understand exactly, is like an employee in the organization who represents the company, not just someone random, of course. So, yeah.
Thank you. There is a famous question which we always hear. People are trying to optimize. They want to choose when they can't work in all the channels. And Anni, I assume she's from Estonia, is asking, what is the most beneficial social media channels to reach young people if you would have to choose between Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube?
I would choose all of them. You can't, because all the platforms they have mostly all the ages on them. Instagram and YouTube and Facebook and TikTok. And it's a lot of them. And now there's Clubhouse as well. You should use that as well. You should be on both. But if you want to start, like let's make it a bit easier. If you want to start, just see what type of content you create. If it's more of pictures, then maybe we start with Instagram, and then get a hold on the type of content and learn more about the audience, and then move on to Facebook, because you don't need to create videos, because videos maybe it takes more time. So maybe keep YouTube at the end. I don't know, but if you want to start with YouTube, yeah, it's very, you have to try. You have to choose one first, and then move on to the second, and then the third. But then at the end of the day, you need to be everywhere.
Yeah, and the social media channels are constantly changing, and young people are leaving all the social media channels where their parents are. So I guess it is constantly being open for change. Anya is asking, hello, we are preparing audio-video content for social media to activate young adults like your followers, Ahmad, to co-create our local area. What would you say is the best way to get their reaction? What should we consider to film? Local area, personas, activities? So if they want to get people more active in developing the local area and young people, young adults, how would you help to tell that story so that they would get engaged?
Let me share this idea. Maybe we can make it work with this project. Like competitions, introducing competitions and giveaways and stuff like that helps a lot with the engagement. So if there's a project they're working on, they could make it in a sort of a competition where people can like work together and compete, and then there's a prize at the end. So instead of spending a lot of money on advertisement, maybe you could spend it on getting a present or something for the competition for the winners, and people would engage because we all want to win something, especially if we're interested in that type of content. So you should consider, like everyone should consider competitions and giveaways in return of engagement. It will help.
And usually when we speak with you, you emphasize the importance of storytelling. So can you share with us a little bit, what does it mean, and what does it mean in the context of the discussion we're having, the audiovisuals, content creation, social media?
And videos. So it's very tricky because in social media, since there are millions of videos that are posted daily, we just swipe up and then consume the content while we're swiping. So if the first 3 seconds pass and we're not interested, we just swipe. So I would emphasize on the beginning of the videos. One of the mistakes that people do is they start the video very slow and then they assume that the people would keep watching, and the best part or the main content is in the middle of the video. People, like, the retention rate is very high where people leave the video early. So I would say start the video with the message that you want to, or what people should expect in the video. This is what I do. Like when I start the video about talking about this country, I'll be like, for example, that is a random example. Like, in this video, I will talk about this and this and that, and you would expect to see me discussing this country and their food and their traditions and so on. So people would be intrigued and they would keep watching. So I would say, like, focus on the beginning, and also, of course, the story and the message. The message should be clear and should be informative. Yeah, don't worry too much about how beautiful the video looks. Just focus on the message and the introduction, the first few seconds of the video. And then at the end, the call to action, because it's very important, because also will increase your engagement. Call to action, like ask your audience to like or share or subscribe, or maybe sign up for an event that you're creating. It's very important. Yeah.
Cool. There is technical questions. People are asking, Anni, for instance, and Manka, both are asking, which tools would you recommend for people that helps with content creation? You know, like videos, photos. Manka mentions Canva and Hello from Slovenia. What else? What do you recommend? What are the tools?
Some tools for social media you should consider. There's the website Canva. Yes, it has a desktop version and the mobile version. It helps you create graphic design, like posts and thumbnails for the videos, maybe banners and posts. It helps you add text and add pictures. It's very, very useful. It's called Canva, Canva. Also, there is Hootsuite or Buffer. There are platforms, websites where you schedule your posts. So if you want to schedule a week ahead and you have your posts ready, you can upload them and say, like, I want to post this on Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday at that time, and cross-post them as well, like, and choose the platforms. You can post on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter at the same time. So they post the same post at the same time on the 3 platforms. It's called the Buffer or Hootsuite.
I think we can, for the participants, save some links later and share them with you guys after the session, because Ahmad has many recommendations. But we have many questions as well, and I love that people are so active. So we are not able to take them all, but we will save them and we will maybe try to answer some of them on a written form if we see that it really deserved an answer, and share with you guys again as well. But here is a question regarding There was a question regarding hateful comments. Because you create content and you might get some trolls. The more successful you get, the more likely it happens. So you as a person with your face and your personality up there, what are your recommendations? What do you do to handle that pressure and also deal with it?
Yeah, first of all, you don't have to be successful to get hate on your comments. You can get it from the first day. You know, what I do, like at the beginning, maybe it affected me a bit. You know, I felt like it hurt a little bit. But then later on, you understand that there are haters that, and like the way I see it is that they have some psychological issues. That's why they have to post it on comments. You know, they cannot say it to you face to face anyway. It's just in the comment section. So you just learn to ignore it, and your mind starts blocking it. Once you feel that this is a hate comment, your mind just blocks it, and you don't even read it. I just block them and report, and that's all. So not to hurt other people. But for me, at this moment, it doesn't bother me at all. There is a difference between hate comment and constructive negative comment. Like some people would say, like, I don't like this because of this and this and that. They try to help you, try to make you better, try to make you produce better content. So this is a very constructive. I reply to all of them respectively because they're sending a like constructive. They want to help me. You know? So this is a comment that you want to reply to and engage with them. But hate comments, after some time, it doesn't matter. But you should never worry about what other people think anyway. This is a life advice, especially on social media. You shouldn't worry about what they think because it will always push you backward. You should just focus on what you want, what you like, your passion, what you're passionate about, and then talk about it. And then you always find people who are interested in this, who always follow you. And hate comment will never end. It will always be there.
That's true. When it comes to media and information literacy, then the recommendation it is if it's really hateful, and you can go to search on online hate speech campaign, which is against hate speech. Of course, it's a European campaign. They have many tools and recommendations how to tackle hate speech, especially with young people and also online. But reporting and blocking is also a good way, so that the same person is not going to violate you again, and not, otherwise your channel also might portray the attitude that this kind of behavior is tolerated. So you don't need to engage, but you can block and remove the person. Obviously, if it's not thousands and thousands, it might be hard if you have so many, but I think for you,
it's important. If there are thousands, you can. If you can add like keywords. For YouTube, for example, I add keywords. If someone ever uses the keywords in the comments, they get blocked or anyway, or the message gets hidden. So
yeah. The question was from Lucy, and she also said that it's hard to draw a line. What is abusive, or when it's just criticism? How do you make a difference?
Criticism, if someone is trying to say their opinion respectively, that's how I see it. And abusive, if they're just saying like hate, like. Sometimes they just insult without saying why they're insulting. Sometimes I want to know why you're insulting me. It's just, I guess, part of envy. They see you're doing something that they can't do, so they're just sending hate. You just shouldn't worry at all. Like, learn and teach yourself how not to care about these comments. And by the way, you should always engage in the comment section and reply to all the comments, because it's very, very important and increase your engagement a lot.
So there is a myth in a way that, being on social media professionally or for your organization is, pretty much the same as you do your personal channel. But I guess it's a little bit more work, but it's worth it. So what would you give as a recommendation, something else, like if someone is still starting to build an online community now with the COVID times? In a way, we are online fatigued as well. We are overloaded of screen time. How do you approach this? How do you keep your community engaged? Just knowing that everyone is getting so much online content now and they are tired of it.
To be honest, personally, like during that time, I wasn't productive at all. Like I have to say, I'm very honest, because my content is based on travel. At like the first few months, I started to post from home and film from home and talk about different subjects. But I was a little bit, I didn't post a lot more afterwards. But anyway, the way I do it now is I start to, because not everyone can travel now at the moment. So I try to look for uh, countries that allow me to travel, and I try to go there first and then start filming and producing new content. But I understand, like during that time, it's there are a lot of, because everyone is online and not a lot of us go out, maybe except in Egypt because everyone is out anyway. Uh, there's no a lot of restrictions, but it's a lot harder. It's a lot harder. Then you should keep posting more and and stick to the message, I would say. But I understand because there's a lot of posts anyway.
Let's take a look at Siri's drawing once again, what she has concluded from our questions and answers. Siri, please share your screen. We see that we should reply to comments. Oh, there is quite a lot that she has already managed to draw. That looks really cool. Competitions, some tips and tricks. That's nice. Thank you, Siri, for sharing. It's something that we are looking forward to see when it's finalized. But last comment, Ahmad, what would be, like, now we discussed and many people were asking about like one channel or all the channels, if you have to choose which one, if you're starting from the scratch, what should you keep in mind? We tackled those questions. But is there something that you would like to emphasize? Especially I see most of the people are still like in their early journey of social media content creation. They still have questions. So what would you recommend?
I mean, in general,
In general, like what else would you like to emphasize?
I would like, this is like when you start to create content and be exposed to the public because you're getting content to the public, it's not a personal account anymore. You should learn not to, again, not to worry about people's thoughts. A lot of people would try to bring you down. There's a lot more that would support you. So just stick to what your passion. Try to learn more. Watch a lot more videos online. Try to improve yourself. I would say less worry about the quality of the content, especially if you're creating videos. Less worry in the beginning, of course, because the point is for you to start posting. Also, don't spend a lot of time on preparing the content, because a lot of us, like, they prepare and they think if they want to buy this camera and this camera, and then we should talk about this topics and plan like 6 months ahead. But at the end of the day, they didn't start. No one saw any of their plans. So I would say enough planning and just start posting. You start when you start. Start when you start posting. If you didn't post, then you didn't start. And if you worry about what people would think at the beginning, I can understand. Then the way what I did is I started posting videos, but I didn't tell anyone. Just to test and see myself, how will I react. I recorded, but you have to upload it online, because once it's uploaded, even if no one's watching, you get to learn more about yourself and what you should improve, rather than just watching it on your computer. So I uploaded one, and then I think like up to 10 videos before I told anyone that I'm posting videos, just to test. And then by the 10th video, I was very confident in front of camera. I could speak easily, and it's fun. So when I started, I was already comfortable with camera. That's how I taught myself how to speak in front of the camera, because I saw a lot of the questions related to that. So there's practice, but then most importantly, you should upload it online. Yes.
Then do you track the time, how much you spend on your posting and your social media work each week? Peter is asking, how much time do you invest to your postings each week?
I spend a lot of time. It's my full-time job, so I treat it that way. Because also I make video content, so videos take a lot of time. Sometimes it takes 2-3 weeks to create one video if it's a big one. Similar to Estonia. We created a video about Estonia. You guys should watch it. Anyway, so it takes a lot of time. I mean, some people just post pictures. Could be a lot easier to text. They could plan it on their way somewhere. They could plan the text and write it down. But I have to stay in front of the computer for many hours. So it takes a lot of time for me.
Yeah, and I think it's something that people underestimate sometimes when they see the people. You make it look so easy, but we need to wrap up. And you had many questions like how to start. And luckily enough, Ahmad, in cooperation with us at Salto PI, and I have created 5 short videos about audiovisual content creation. You can find them on our Facebook channel, and you can also find them on YouTube. So our technical support is also going to copy the list, YouTube list and the chat. So please take a look. They're really short. They're really step by step, take you through the main things, equipment showing all the practical things, and also some strategizing behind it. So these are really cool videos. We highly recommend you to watch it.
Can I say it in Arabic as well?
Sorry?
Can I say this specific part in Arabic as well?
Yes, say it.
Okay. هي بتقول ان في 5 فيديوهات انا كنت عملتهم مع سالتو، بنشرح فيهم بالظبط بالتفاصيل كل حاجه ليها علاقه بصناعه المحتوى، من اول الكاميرات، من اول التصوير، من اول الافكار اصلا لحد الكاميرات والتصوير وازاي توصل للناس والكلام ده كله. فهتلاقيهم على يوتيوب بتاعهم، اللينك بتاع سالتو، ممكن تخش تتفرج عليهم. يبقى ملخص كله بقى.
That sounds cool. That's really cool. I have no idea what he said. I just trusted him.
Exactly what he said.
His trust. And also there is a really cool new platform which is called Participation Resource Pool, which includes 600 plus different resources, videos, tutorials, guidelines, articles on topics also like promotion and outreach, media and information literacy, and youth participation. So go check it out. You'll find the link in the comments, and you can find more useful resources that will help you to get started or improve your ongoing work. And we will keep building on the content there, and potentially also work more with Ahmad on this. And if you want to stay more up to date with the events like this or other trainings, obviously they're now online, but hopefully soon also physical trainings and events are going to happen, then you might want to check out our newsletter. We send out the monthly newsletter to our subscribers, and the link will be also posted in the chat. So you can subscribe and stay tuned. Only once a month we send you a summary of all the events, publications, open calls. You're welcome to enroll in one of those activities. And obviously, if you generally feel that you would like to get more active on social media or communication, promotion and outreach, those topics to make your projects more visible, then you might also want to check out what opportunities Erasmus Plus and European Solidarity Corps offer you, because they do fund youth initiatives and youth work initiatives, and making youth initiatives visible is one of the key values of this program. So check them out. You will find the link in the comments. This information is again available in the Participation Resource Pool. And Ahmad and I will have quite a lot of time reading the rest of your comments. So thank you everyone for participating. We had so much fun. I wasn't expecting so active questions. It's lovely. And right, so I would give the final word to Ahmad. Would you like to say something?
I would like to say again, just start posting right away. Start posting today, either a picture or a video from your phone. You don't have to edit much. There's a lot of applications on the phone you can edit. Just start posting content today, but learn about your audience, of course, and learn about their interests, and then put yourself in their shoes. Also, there's one last thing to say. If you're not sure about how to tackle your audience, because a lot of the questions were also how to tackle like young high schoolers. So you could look for other companies that target them as well and learn about their techniques and see how they write to them and how they reach them, and then form your own way based on that. And if you guys have any questions, I'll also, if you don't mind, if I post my website, it has all the social media platforms. If you want to send me on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, can't send.
Yeah. Cool. And
yeah.
as a like a final note, we would like to share a little teaser video with you, which actually is a great way to conclude and drive you for more interesting content. And after the video, we will show Siri's final picture. So Marco, would you please play the video?
Hi. This video series is a very high-level overview of audio-visual content creation to give you the basic understanding of the creation process by learning about the content creation techniques, marketing, and community management. I will walk you step by step over topics like how to brand your project, your initiative, or organization, and how to create content to a specific target group and different ways to promote your message to help build your online community. That would consist of teenagers, volunteers, youth, change makers. So if you're launching a new initiative from scratch or for an already existing organization, then you need to understand the techniques explained in this video to learn more about how to empower young people, get them interested in new topics, encourage young people to join and participate in activities, increase engagement online, and increase awareness about online youth projects.
Thank you. And Siri, now it's time for you to share the screen, and then we can wave everyone for goodbye. That looks awesome. And as said, we will be sharing it with everyone. Thank you, Siri. Looks great. Lots of tips and recommendations there, and she will still polish it up and finalize, and we will share it with you. So thanks. Have a good afternoon, everyone. Stay safe and join us on another occasion.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.